Each of these characteristics is important, but taken together, they help to build a good citizen. They help to nurture a person of faith, and they help to encourage a better world. We have been blessed as a congregation to now for our first year, and so we celebrate the anniversary this month as well, except not 100 for us, one year, as a sponsoring organization for, I think, the finest Cub Scout pack, and certainly, knowing the troop much longer, the best Boy Scout troop in our district, in the Heartland district, and one of the very best in the council, which covers several counties. It's important for us as a congregation to be willing, where we have opportunity, to team with our scouts, cubs and boys, young men really, to help them nurture that gift that will make a difference in the world. In the same way that those two young men you saw just off stage, who traveled with Susan Boyle when she came from her little village in England to the big stage to sing. And if you remember, that one of the young men spins around to a camera that was backstage, that was shooting beyond and between the curtains. And he turned around and he put his finger out like this, and he said, "You didn't expect that, did you?" Because he knew what was coming. And he knew how it would be powerful for people who made judgments too quickly. Oh, we all do need to make judgments. And often our decisions are very important, and sometimes less so. But again, as Jesus reminds us, we should judge with right judgment. The honesty of those three people, three simple votes, who might change the life of any performer before them. Their self-pride, their not-so-hidden laughter, and their low expectation of a person who had it all together in many ways, but herself was still humble, coming from a little town, a little village actually, where the people knew her and loved her for who she was and for the gifts she had. As you study a little bit about Susan Boyle, and you can do that if you go online and check things out, you find out she's really, actually very much an ordinary person, but she uses the gifts that God has given her in extraordinary ways. Those are the sorts of things that scouts also learn. Just as we teach in our church school, they learn about reverence and about respect for other faith traditions and for people of color and for those from the First Nations here as well as in Canada or anywhere else in the world. They have to earn 21 merit badges to move up through the ranks of achievement, of learning really, to come to the Eagle Scout badge and that status or that particular opportunity to be known as a leader and expected as one who will lead. And in the course of that time, as they learn these things, they're required to study citizenship in the community and a different badge, citizenship in the nation. And yet a third badge is required, citizenship in the world. Scouting is a program we can embrace as one of the programs that we sponsor then as a congregation. And as we look at those 12 points of the Scout Law, if we think of the motto, do a good turn daily, and be prepared, the slogan and the motto together. And we think about those times that these scouts have helped us on our own land here and within the building. And as they work in the community on special drives and special events, we encourage you where you are able to participate and nurture this program and help to build it, that God may yet be seen in the character of young people growing up here in our nation. As an Eagle Scout myself, I look back with great fondness to the many years that men and women gave to me, teaching me and encouraging me and nudging me sometimes to finish the work that was before me. And I earned my Eagle Scout. This will surprise you young scouts to know that actually I lived so far back in ancient times. But in 1964, in October, when I was 17, that's when I received my Eagle Scout award. I still remember that day. I still strive to follow the 12 points of the Scout Law. I still try to do a good turn daily, and I always try to be prepared for whatever God might put before me. I learned these things, in part from Sunday school, some from my parents, but especially from the Boy Scouts of America. You know, in the culture today, there is much negativity. There is much division, and there has been for many years now. Our nation struggles to redefine itself in a new era in the 21st century. We in these days are saddling our young people for generations, the grandchildren perhaps even of our children, maybe working with debt that we are incurring to try to fight our way out, to climb out of a great recession, the second worst downturn in American history since we became a country free and independent of Britain. The Great Depression only having been larger and greater and more extended. And yet, we move ahead as we turn again to those simple elemental characteristics of those 12 points of the law. If we could help somehow across the community and in the state and in the nation by participating in the electoral process, by writing to our congressmen and our senators and the office of the President of the United States, by taking a position that is not so much one that creates animosity between peoples, but looks for mediation, looks for hard center, high ground, then we can build a better world. The Scouts are trying to do that in the world in which they live at this time. The older you are, the more you understand how important these things of which I speak are to the building of a nation, to the building of character, to the building of an individual person. The Boy Scouts of America is not a religion. It's a movement. Our faith is not all there is to Christianity as Presbyterian Christians. We are named for the way we govern ourselves by the election of presbyters, of elders, and by those who we elect, again with the right to vote as members of the Presbyterian denomination, the teaching elders, the pastors, and we work together as dreamers and visionaries. Let us see, as Susan Boyle has sung, that we continue, despite whatever may go on before us, to be dreamers and to be visionaries, to build a better world, so that maybe 100 years from now, maybe right here in this very sanctuary, someone might say, they were dreamers and they were visionaries 100 years ago, and there were Boy Scouts, and they are still with us, and the dreamers and the visionaries across all those things are with us still. To God be the glory. Let us pray.